is because Jeb Bush is white and privileged and wealthy, he can do drugs and pay no penalty.
Yeah.
But the poor African-American guy who gets caught with a little bit of marijuana for his personal use in Florida, I can tell you where he's going.
Yeah.
Jail.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think he is concerned that that some of his earlier dealings are likely to become public, and therefore he's now trying to soften his views as the macho drug warrior that he is. I have a book coming out in January, Jeb and the Bush Crime Family,
yes,
which really details Jeb's early days and his involvement with drugs prior to his government service.
That's one I really want to read. I really want to have you back to talk about that, because right now, I guess he'll still be there because he's got a lot of money that he collected when he began, but he's not collecting any money right now. And basically his exclamation mark has gone flaccid. So he's going to be it's going to be a must-win situation for him in New Hampshire. Your book is going to come out just a few days before the New Hampshire primary.
Yeah, and I purposely, because my book is it's an act of political action. And there's a lot of questions in there that I think he needs to answer. But if the book published now, he would have a year or he'd have, 5 months, 4 months to figure out how to answer these questions, and they'd go poll them and focus group them and, and massage them and so on, and you get these qualified responses. No, I think that in essence, the Bushes and the Clintons are in it together. Not long ago, you remember Hillary started attacking Jeb. That's because Jeb was starting to flag in the Republican contest, and she was trying to elevate him. This is this is her preferred
They're
opponent.
bookends, and of course that's the way the entire Republican-Democrat situation has been. They elevate each other.
Well, Jeb isn't going to raise the question about Bill's involvement in cocaine running in the United States when he was governor of Arkansas, because his own father was involved. So it's kind of checkmate. They'll never, Jeb will never get in Hillary's face. Jeb gave Hillary a medal. How do you run against somebody who gave a medal for public service?
Exactly. And we'll talk about that when we come back, what was going on with Jeb and Jeb's father and going on with Noriega down in Central America. Stay with us. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick break.
You guys have the exclusive for, which is a product called Deep Cleanse. And why I'm so excited about it is it's a unique formula, almost like the iodine crystals. We have 2 unique products that nobody in the world has. One of the most amazing ingredients in the world, and it's called shilajit, and it's actually known as blood of the mountain or rock sweat because thousands of years ago, as a matter of fact, this ingredient was only given to the elite of the elite thousands of years ago up in the Himalayan mountains and in Tibet.
And we wanted to put this in stuff for a couple years, but we couldn't get an organic form.
Right. I mean,
so let's explain. I mean, this stuff's so good, we couldn't put it out for years.
Right. So I had to actually, it's kind of like the iodine crystals, finding a source deep in the earth that we could get the cleanest source available. But in Tibet and in Nepal and in the Himalayan mountains, thousands of years ago, they watched these monkeys. And during the summer months, the monkeys would go up into the mountains.
Now you're being racist against monkeys.
And they would pick this black substance from the mountains. And so in Russia, they actually, it grows in Russia in the mountains and in the Himalayas and only in the summer. And shilajit is actually the decomposition of up to 7,000 different medicinal herbs. So it decomposes, all these different herbs decompose in the Himalayan mountains and the volcanic soil up there. And what happens in the summertime...
So it's almost like an oil from...
Yes, it's high in fulvic acid, it's high in humic acid.
Because they're always claiming oil is really from decomposed animals and plants. There is some oil that is based from fossils, but most of it's really abiotic. But so this is a true fossil source? I mean, explain it to me.
It is, it's really the decomposition, like I said, of over 7,000 different medicinal herbs and plants. And with the rocks and the pressure deep in the mountains, it freezes and during the summertime and the pressures build it up.
It oozes out.
It oozes out. So it literally oozes out of the mountain.
It's like rock sap.
It's like rock sap. It's black and it's highly nutritious. Even in the 1980s, when the Olympic athletes in Russia were accused of being on steroids, they found out that they were actually been given shilajit because it works as an anabolic as well. and it builds muscles. It's a big dose in there. The second big main ingredient in there is a volcanic zeolite concentrate. And what this formula is designed to do, the shilajit and the zeolites have a real strong negative charge. All the metals and chemicals and PCBs and VOCs have positive charges. So these go in, they grab it, and then they safely eliminate it through the body so you can become healthy. I mean, this is an amazing formula. I wish I actually had it, but because this was an exclusive INFOWARS Life product, you're the only one in the world that has this formula now. And you know, there is going to be a limited supply available when you sell out because you can only harvest this once a year.
How do people take it? How is it recommended that this be done? Just a daily dose?
Yeah, daily dose. The instructions are on the label. You know, of course, I kind of modify it for each individual. It depends on what your lifestyle is. I mean, honestly, the best thing to do is for you to avoid all these chemicals and toxins in your environment and try to identify them and start slowly reducing them. But personally, I'm going to probably take it every day, every other day, and I'll probably go with about a dropper full to maybe 2 dropper fulls. And I don't expose myself to any chemicals.
InfoWarsLife.com. Please also support our local AM and FM affiliates, support their local sponsors or become a sponsor, and spread the word. Because these aren't just great products. This is how we fund this independent operation. We're not taxpayer funded like MSNBC or NPR, and neither is your local station. So support them, folks. This is a war.
A woman in the West German town of Neheim was forced out of her apartment of 16 years so that a wave of refugees could put up stakes in her home. The resident of that apartment, Bettina Halby, later posted this on Facebook. On what grounds do they terminate rental contracts with residents in order to house refugees? There are plenty of empty properties in the town. The legality of the eviction is still in dispute as Germany is on par to make room for up to 1 million refugees this year alone. And soon it won't just be the places Germans call home being kicked into the dustbin of history. Next, it will be their beliefs. Sharia law is making a foothold in Europe. Recently, a Muslim man residing in Germany confessed to strangling his 19-year-old daughter to death as the mother watched, because she was caught shoplifting condoms. Back in the man's native land of Pakistan, 1,000 women are killed on average due to what is acceptably dubbed honor killing.
Her name was Nargis. They had fallen in love after he had given her a ride in his taxi, and they were blissfully happy until she was found dead in a field, stabbed, shot, beaten, and strangled.
The Washington Post reported in 2014, a pregnant 25-year-old woman was stoned to death by her family for marrying a man she loved. The stoning took place in the middle of the day outside a courthouse beside a busy thoroughfare. The woman and her husband had been in love, her husband said, and they'd gone to the courthouse to sign the paperwork. Outside, the woman's father, brothers, and extended family waited. When the couple emerged, the family reportedly tried to snatch her, then murdered her. Her father told police, "I killed my daughter as she had insulted all of our family by marrying a man without our consent, and I have no regret over it. It had been an honor killing." Here in America, honor killings are not uncommon. For instance, in 2009, Faleh Hassan al-Maliki drove the family car into his 19-year-old daughter after being enraged that his daughter, Noor, had shunned an arranged marriage. He was sentenced to 34.5 years in prison.
Police recorded this phone call with Noor's mother shortly after her husband ran over their daughter and her boyfriend's mother.
Your daughter is about close to dying.
Close to die?
Yes, she's in critical condition.
Tell her thank you, Amal. Thank you. That's what she needs. She needs to break this family. That's what she needs.
You're a sick individual.
When you have something that is against the rights of women, or against the rights of gays, subjugates other religions, and a host of things that are not compatible with our Constitution, why, in fact, would you take that chance?
The United Nations estimates that 5,000 women are victims of honor killings per year, while according to the BBC, women's advocacy groups suspect more than 20,000 women are killed globally every year due to honor killing. The Council on American Islamic Relations has denounced honor killing, calling it an ancient practice that will be brought to areas of Muslim America as the fast-tracking of supposed Syrian refugees is emboldened by Obama's policies to bring in tens of thousands of potential ancient practitioners within the next 3 years. John Bound for INFOWARS.com.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there was a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted. Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security while sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch, the Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level.
Recently, the University of Texas pulled the Jefferson Davis statue from its campus because of a growing irrational fear of American history. On the northwest axis of 3rd and D in the nation's capital sits the Albert Pike statue, dedicated to the leader of the southern jurisdiction of the Scottish Rite, a title Pike held for 32 years. He was also a Confederate brigadier general. He was also the chief judicial officer and Arkansas Grand Dragon of the newly formed Ku Klux Klan. This is the only statue in Washington, D.C. commemorating a Confederate soldier, much less a founding member of the Klan. In fact, Pike was said to have owned a bracelet that allowed him perpetual communication with Lucifer himself. So if the Confederate flag is being denounced and Jefferson Davis and other Confederate monuments are under consideration for removal, why does this statue still remain? Simple. Pike is highly revered by the very occultic groups in control of the puppet government installed in Washington, D.C. His 1871 letter to Illuminati mafia founder Giuseppe Mazzini predicts a succession of 3 world wars, a game plan followed to a T by the global elite. It was Pike that wrote the rituals that would create a secret society within a secret society, the 33rd degree. The 33rd degree would serve as a continuation of the Luciferian goals established by an older order known as the Order of the Palladium. All Master Masons brought into the higher degrees would have to take orders from higher Masons. This long list of initiates includes presidents, Supreme Court justices, and military leaders. It was Pike and Illuminati conspirators that infiltrated the world of Freemasonry, armed with a doctrine to establish a one-world order. These conspirators, such as Lord Henry Palmerston of England and Otto von Bismarck of Germany, built global hubs for the Illuminati, and these hubs, known as the Supreme Councils of the Scottish Rite, like the one located at 1733 16th Street Northwest in Washington, D.C., have been in operation ever since. Washington, D.C. itself is reputed to have been designed to represent a pentagram and the Masonic square and compass, which would add to the confusing manner in which the streets of the District of Criminals are set up. Masons have long argued that Pike was not a member or founding father of the Klan. However, the 1905 publication Ku Klux Klan, Its Origin, Growth, and Disbandment by J.C. Lester and D.L. Wilson clearly lists Albert Pike as one of its founding members. This book was intent on glorifying the Klan and its origins, hardly an effort to spread misinformation. If awareness grows, the very people behind the liberal agenda to spread political correctness while abandoning our ugly American history will have clumsily uncovered a nest of treasonous activity and Luciferian dogma exposed in the light of day. Albert Pike issued this statement to the 23 Supreme Councils of the world. We worship a God but it is the God one adores without superstition. To you, Sovereign Grand Instructors General, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine.